Welcome back, Hans. So actually we're talking about the economic global challenges taking place right now, and now moving on to the situation in Egypt and the economic status in Egypt in particular. In light of what we have mentioned in the very beginning and how we can take advantage, and this is one of the main pillars of any strategic plan, actually, to take benefit of the challenges for the others. And the point is that recently many reports were announced talking and praising the economic growth. Very recently, for example, the Bloomberg report saying that Egypt economic growth is the fastest in the region. So again, there is also another meeting to talk about or to tackle the idea of decreasing the interest rates, for example. Still we have the idea of the inflation and taking control of the situation. Many challenges.
You know, Nashwa, after the economic reform, Egypt has succeeded to implement a successful economic reform. And as you mentioned, most of international organizations, they praised what Egypt has done, and the prospect for economic growth in Egypt really is reflecting hope for a higher and higher rate of growth. Why? Because we have unexploited resources. We have mining resources are not exploited yet. We have a part of our industrial sector. We are importing every year by $33 billion. So if we replace Egyptian product instead of these feeding industries, we can have a lot of opportunities for more investments. Egypt is becoming, more attractive to foreign direct investment if we can succeed to promote our opportunities for profitable opportunities for investment. So all these are very important assets for Egypt, inshallah, for the coming period, to have a very significant rate of growth. According to Harvard, that from here to 2027, Egypt can achieve 6.8% because of the diversification of the economy. Nowadays, we are trying to boost our industrial sector, agriculture, and at the same time information technology and digitalization of the economy nowadays is taking its pace in the Egyptian economy. Still, in order to do that successfully, we still have some challenges, and part of it, what you've mentioned regarding that we are expecting today in the meeting of the Central Bank of Egypt to have a cut in our interest rate. We have one of the highest interest rate in the region. This may have, benefit and drawbacks. Regarding benefits, you are having saving, you are attracting foreign indirect investment. This was responsible for stabilization of the exchange rate, and that the Egyptian pound gained, compared to the dollar. All this. But at the other negative side is that the cost of investment is very high for investors. From here it comes the importance that we need investments. Investment, are the basis for employment, for addressing inflation problems, and enhancing the quality of life for most Egyptians. So from here it comes the importance that today we are expecting a cut in interest rate. Why? Because we succeeded to reduce inflation rates, and from here it comes there is an opportunity to cut interest rate. Why? To reduce the cost of investment and to attract more investments, because when you reduce the cost of investment, you may improve the competitiveness of the product. So this may attract investment to benefit from unexploited resources, as I have just mentioned. So all these are quite important. Besides, we still have challenges regarding our internal debt, affecting seriously, the budget, because you have a burden to pay interest rate every year that exceeded 560 billion Egyptian pound. You still have the external debt, which nowadays excluded $100 billion, and the service of debt. We are quite doing well regarding fulfilling our requirements for external debt. Still, we have challenges regarding our deficit in the balance of trade. We need to boost our export and to reduce our imports. Still, can be representing a challenge for the Egyptian economy. The proceed, in order to achieve higher rate of growth. Another challenge is to combat poverty, the economic empowerment of poverty, and nowadays we have the initiative of decent life proposed by President Sisi, and having his support, and I believe this is quite important. Another thing is regarding human resources. How to upgrade human resources in Egypt. I believe this should be one of the most important priority by the civil society in Egypt and the government, so that because you cannot proceed and benefit and have all this investment and attract foreign investment without having human capital. And this is quite important, and nowadays there is a tendency to upgrade and to enhance the system of education and the system of training for recruitment, and specifically vocational training. Nowadays there is significant effort in order to strengthen the vocational training to upgrade skills and productivity of labor.
Yes. Doctor, as we're wrapping up our segment, your final recommendations, please.
My final recommendation is what I have just mentioned, is we have, for the Egyptian economy, we have to concentrate on these priorities. We have to concentrate on upgrading skills of human resources in Egypt. We have to enhance our exports. Still, we have capacities, very good capacities, benefiting, as I've just mentioned, from the world situation. I believe that a strategy and action plan to enhance our export is quite important. The Egyptian component in our industrial sector should be increased significantly in order to improve the competitiveness of the industrial sector. I believe these are the priorities that we need to concentrate on for the coming period, inshallah.
Yes, Dr. Youman Hamaki, Professor of Economics at Ain Shams University, thank you so much for joining us on the Breakfast Show on Nile TV International.
Thank you.
And dear viewers, now we move on to a short break, and then we'll be back to resume the Breakfast Show live on Nile TV International.